Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you how to crochet this cute top. This design is super easy to wear without any stripes tying here and there. So ever since I have my first one, I wear it a lot at home. I made the one that I'm wearing freehandly, and in this video I'm gonna demonstrate the second one that I made, which I improved some of the details, and I use only my own body measurement for the sizing. So if you're interested in make one for yourself, just keep watching. So for this project, we are going to be using category 2 fine weight yarn, and here I'm using the Friends Whale from Hobby, and as you can see I have 3 colors prepared. And as for the tools, I have my 2.5mm hook, a pair of scissors, yarn needles, and these are all the things we need for this project. So just go collect those and let's get started. So to start our project, we are going to make a chain. So this chain is going to determine the length of our top, excluding the bottom Acorn motifs. And with this in mind, you can just make this chain as long or as short as you want. You can stop in any stitch numbers. For the one I am making here, I am going to make 38 stitches for my chain. So now that I have enough chain numbers, I'm going to start my first row, which is a row of single crochet. So I chain 1 to build the height and simply put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way across. And now you can pause the video and start to work on your first row, and let's meet back when we are at the end of this row. And here I am at the end of my first row. I will just keep putting my single crochet into each chain stitch until the very last one, like this. So this is our first row, very simple, all single crochet. And let's start with our second row, which is a triple crochet row. So to start our triple crochet, I am going to do this chainless beginning stitch technique. To do so, after chaining 1, I am going to put 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And then on the left leg of my single crochet, I'm going to do another single crochet, like this. I'm inserting my hook in the left leg. And since we're working on a triple crochet row, I am going to repeat the same thing again. So again, I'm inserting my hook in the left leg and make a single crochet. So these 3 single crochets together is forming my first triple crochet. And for the rest of the row, we are just going to work normally 1 triple crochet into each stitch all the way across. So let's just go and work on our triple crochets, and I will meet you back when we are almost at the end of this row, when we have 2 stitches left, because that's where we are going to do our 1 stitch increase. And here we are at the end of this row where we have 2 stitches left. Let's do the increasing together. So here I want to introduce you this increasing technique I always like to do. Instead of inserting 2 stitches just in one hole, that hole will become visually enlarged, and I don't like to see that in garments. So I always do instead this. First, I insert my first stitch in the back loop. So in the back loop, I will make 1 triple crochet like this. And for the second one, I insert my hook normally in my second last stitch and also in the back loop of my last stitch. And I make a triple crochet. And for the last one, I just insert the hook in the last stitch, both loops, like how I do normally. And this is how I increase. This is how I make 3 stitches out of 2 stitches. And let's chain 1, turn our work, and work on our next row. So here again we have to do 1 stitch increase since this side is the top of our panel. So with the same technique but working for single crochet, I am going to insert my hook in the back loop of the first stitch, and in both loop and the back loop of my next stitch, another single crochet. And then just both loop in the second stitch. You see, here is how I make 3 stitches out of 2. And then we're just gonna work 1 single crochet normally in each stitch. Now here I am finishing my 3rd row. And for the next rows, we are just going to keep repeating our row 2 and row 3. So 1 triple crochet, 1 single crochet, with 1 stitch increase on each row until we have the panel wide enough to cover from our middle rib to one side of our nipple, like this. So just pause the video and go ahead, work on your rows. I will meet you back for the next step. So here I have made 13 rows to reach enough coverage for my own measurement. You will most likely have different row numbers, which is perfectly fine. And for the next step, we are just going to make 1 triple crochet row, followed with 1 single crochet row without any increasing. So here at the end of my 14th row, I finished the row without doing any increase, just like I said, and I just turn my work and start my single crochet row, again without any increasing. And here I am, just finished my 2 non-increased rows, and for the next step, on the upper part of our panel, we are going to start the decreasing. So this row, we are going to make triple crochets. I chain 1 and turn my work. I will make a beginning chainless triple crochet. And I will just put 1 triple crochet in each stitch until I have 2 stitches left. And that's where I am going to do the decrease. So let's just meet each other's back there. And here we are. I have 3 stitches left on this row. So let me make my last triple crochet. And here is where we need to do the decrease. So to make a triple crochet 2 together to have 1 stitch less, we are going to wrap our yarn twice, insert our hook into the stitch, pull up, pull through 2 loops. We yarn over again, insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop and pull through again 2 loops. And then we yarn over and pull through 3 loops and yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. And here it is for our triple crochet decrease. Let's take a look at our panel now. So you can see we are already in the position after the peak of our panel. So starting from now, we are just going to do 1 stitch decrease into each row. For this next row, we are working single crochets, so we are going to start with single crochet 2 together. And then into each stitch, we are just going to put 1 single crochet all the way across. So starting from here, we are just going to repeat our triple crochet decrease, single crochet decrease to each of the following rows until we have this triangle shaping for our top. And we will keep repeating these 2 rows until our panel is big enough to cover the side of our boob before reaching to the back. Here I am having my panel big enough for the coverage that I need. I finished the part for the side with a single crochet row, and now I'm going to start with my back. For the back, I am using this super beautiful stitch. I'm calling this the long single crochet, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So first we make 1 chain and turn our work. And to start this stitch, we are going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. And then we are going to pull this loop long, like this. So my aim here is to have the loop as long as my triple crochet rows, but this is just something I will have in mind. It doesn't matter if it's not the exact size, so don't worry about it too much. And then for the next stitch, I am going to hold the loop very lightly with my index finger and then insert my hook in the next stitch. I grab the yarn, pull through my stitch, and then grab the yarn again, pull through that loop, and again I pull this loop long. And with my hook, I will try to make this loop as long as the previous one. And I'm just gonna do the same for each stitch. I insert the hook, put up the loop, and then put up the second loop, and I make long the second loop. And when you reach this point that you start to feel like your hook is too short to contain any more stitches, just remove your hook very carefully and fix slightly your last 2 loops. Insert your hook back to those loops and then continue with the following stitches. And this is what we're gonna do into each stitch all the way across. And since from here we are working on the back side of our top, we are not going to do any increase or decrease. We are just going to keep the stitch number the same, working on this stitch. Here I am reaching the end of this row. I'm just going to repeat the same thing for my last stitch. And this is my last one. So here I am going to pinch the last 2 loops and very carefully remove my hook. And then with only the last loop, I'm gonna do a slip stitch. But you see, I always pinching my last stitch with my thumb. And then I flip my work. And to start the next row, I am going to first do a slip stitch. And this slip stitch is going to be my first stitch of this row. This is very important. We need to keep that in mind. And then into each of these loosened loops, we are going to make 1 single crochet. The thing to put in mind here is that we always need to keep the left leg of the loop in the front, which is closer to us. This is the way to keep our stitch with a cohesive look without looking messy. So this is the left leg, and this is how we have to insert our hook. And we make a single crochet. And now I have my first single crochet here. I like to put a stitch marker on my first slip stitch, just to remind me that this is my first stitch. Okay, that was a bit tricky, but now that it's done, we can go on with our row. So from now, we are just going to put one single crochet into each of these loosened loops. Just be careful of the direction, how we insert our hook, so we don't twist the loops. Okay, and this is my last stitch. I finished the row. Now I want to show you what we just made. Look how cute is this stitch. Okay, obviously it's a little bit shorter than my triple crochet rows, but I just love the lacy effect of this stitch. If I put my hand behind, you can see it's more transparent than the triple crochet rows, and that's why I use it on the back, because the fact is I just want to use it everywhere, but we do need some coverage for garments. So anyway, this is what we are going to keep repeating for the back side of our panel. And since, as far as I know, this is not a very common stitch, before I fast forward, let's do this repeat together again. Okay, so like the previous time, we chain one and turn our work. And for the first stitch of this row, we are going to make a normal single crochet, but then we are going to pull this loop up like this, and then I'll hold the loop with my index finger very slightly, and then insert my hook, pull up a loop, pull up a loop again, and make the second loop long. Let's do it again. Insert the hook, pull up the first loop, pull up the second loop, and make the second loop long. And I don't know if you noticed, but I always hold the previous loop very slightly with my index finger before I insert my hook in the next stitch. In this way, I can ensure that I don't lose my tension for the loop that just made. And now I remove my hook to proceed to the next portion. To do this, the trick is to pick up the last two loops. In this case, you can ensure the lengths of the loops are the same. So we just keep pushing forward into each stitch until the next time when you have to remove your hook to proceed. And here we are back to the finish point in this row, and you see we make this stitch marker into the slip stitch, which remind us that this is the last stitch of this row. So into this slip stitch we are going to do the same. We're going to insert the hook into the slip stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull up the second loop and make it long. And we remove our hook very carefully so it doesn't split our yarn. And then we pick up the last loop, do a slip stitch, and turn our work. And here we are going to make one slip stitch. We will mark it again as a reminder for the first stitch of this row. And then, oh, my stitch marker just split my yarn, so let me fix it. Okay, so this is our first stitch, and for the following stitch we are just going to do 1 single crochet into each of these loops. So this is the repeat we will be keep doing until our back panel is as big as our front panel, which means if we fold our panel from where we change the stitch, they should have the same length. And the only thing to keep in mind here is that our total row number should be in a multiple of 4. Okay, so once you reach the length you need, just go ahead and cut the yarn, fasten off, and let's start with the second panel. And this is time to start our second panel. As you can see here, I already finished the first single crochet row for my second panel. And the only different thing we are going to do here in the second panel is we are going to do our increase in the beginning of our triple crochet row. So I am now doing my first triple crochet on this row, and this is where I'm going to do the increase. So that's why the first stitch I only work in the back loop, and the second one I am working both loop of the first stitch and the back loop of the second stitch. This is my second triple crochet, and I'm just gonna make the third triple crochet of this row inside my second stitch. So this side will be the top upper part of our panel for this second one, and for the rest of the row we are just going to put 1 triple crochet into each stitch. And once we finish this triple crochet row, we are just going to chain 1, turn our work, and work single crochet all across the next row until we have 2 stitches left. That's where we are going to do our increase. So I will just meet you guys there. And here we are about to do the increase for our single crochet row. And yes, I am going to use the same method. This is my first stitch, the second one, and the last one. And now just go ahead and keep repeating these 2 rows until we reach the peak of our triangle, and work also on those 2 rows without any increase and decrease. And I will meet you back in the beginning of our first decrease row, because I want to show you how I make my first triple crochet while decreasing. So here I am going to start my first triple crochet decrease row. I chain 1, turn my work, and to make the first triple crochet while decreasing, I am going to start my row with a single crochet 2 together. And then to build up the height for our triple crochet, I'm going to insert my hook in the 2 legs on the left side and then make another single crochet. And for the last single crochet, I'm just going to work on the left leg in the previous one and finish my triple crochet. So compared to our first panel, the only difference here is that we are going to do the increase and decrease on the other end of our work. All the other things should be exactly the same as the first one. So go ahead and pause the video, work on your second panel, and meet me back here when you have both of your panels ready. Okay, now that we have our 2 panels done, it's time for us to sew them up. So for this project, I love to use the back side of the single crochet as my seam line. You see this cute dot line? I love this look. I use this method in many of my other projects, and I'm going to use this in this project as well. So let's put our panel front side facing each other and the wrong side out. And let's inline them stitch by stitch. And then I am going to make a slip knot with a contrast color of yarn and insert my hook. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. And insert my hook in the first stitch of both sides. And remember, you see this side, the first stitch is our slip stitch. And here is where I am going to put my slip knot on the hook. And I am going to pull through all these 2 stitches and chain 1. And then we are just going to insert the hook into both stitch of the 2 panels and make a single crochet. And then the second stitch of the both panel and single crochet. And the next one and the next one, and so on. So this is the back of our seam line, so you don't see the effect, but if you flip it to the front side, you can see this cute dot lines forming. So let's just continue to finish this line. And here we are at our last few stitches. Let's finish it up together. And remember, in one of the panel, our last stitch is gonna be again a slip stitch. So don't drop that one. Okay, this is our last single crochet, and then we'll just chain 1 and cut the yarn. So our first seam line is done. So let's use the same method and combine our panel on the front side. So again, we are inserting our hook into the stitches of both panel, and we are attaching the yarn from here. We grab the yarn and pull through both of these stitches and just make 1 single crochet to combine the stitches from both panels. And here we are at the end of this row. This is our last stitch. Let's make sure we grab both stitch on both of the panels and chain 1 and cut the yarn. So here we have the main body part of our top finished. This is a good time for you to try it on, hold it with your hands to see if you like the feet. If it's too big or too small for you, simply rip your single crochet row off and just frog or add few rows. Okay, so now we are going to build the border around the top of our top, and then also the stripes. To do that, we are going to attach the yarn. I'm going to use this red color. Can you tell that here this is the change of my stitch? So this changing point is where I'm going to attach my yarn. I'm going to insert the hook here. Like this. Then I'm going to make a single crochet, chain 3, and I'm gonna skip this long single crochet and make a single crochet on this on the top of this long single crochet, like this. And we are just gonna keep repeating. Chain 3, make a single crochet here, chain 3. We will do the same in the middle. Just gonna put one single crochet here and chain 3. We are going to put our next single crochet here. And then just keep repeating the same thing. Chain 3, skip the long single crochet, and single crochet on the side of our single crochet. So now we are reaching to our single crochet, triple crochet repeat. Starting from here for the aging, we are just going to be more spontaneous. We will keep doing the same, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. But we just gonna have to determine the distance ourselves. Remember, we need to create this tiny bridge with a little bit of curve, but not too much. So you wanna find the right distance for your single crochet. It's not really difficult. You will get a hang of it in no time. See, something like this, a little bit of the curve. Don't make the distance too far. So for example, this one is almost in the limit, because if you put your single crochet too far away from each other, you will lose the curve. And we will just do this all the way across to finish the round. Okay, so here we are at the end of our first round. Let's make a single crochet here, our last chain 3, and just slip stitch in the first single crochet to close up the round. And to start our second round, we are going to slip stitch in the first stitch, chain 1, and then single crochet in our chain 3 space from the previous row, chain 3, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet always in the chain space. We are just going to do this all the way across until we reach back to the beginning point of our round. Now we are almost finished with the second round. Let's finish it up. Okay, this is the beginning of our second round. So like before, we just going to do a slip stitch. And then for the third round, it's exactly the same with our second round. So we do a slip stitch here, we chain 1, single crochet in this chain space, and keep repeating the same, which is chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, all the way around. So now I have finished my third round of the edging, and I already fastened off here, as you can see. Let's flip it back to our front side, because now we are going to determine where we are going to add the stripes for our shoulder. So basically we just need to find the single crochet on the top. I mean, it should be a set of single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet on the top. And if there is not the one like specifically pointing the top, we just need to decide one ourselves. For example, on this side, I'm gonna use this one. You can see this one. Maybe this one's better. Okay, no, let's use this one. And let me put a stitch marker. Let's put 2, because this is the distance for the width of my stripe. Okay, these two for this side, and then this two is more easy. This side is more easy. It's this two, obviously. And I'm gonna start with this side. So instead of putting the stitch marker, let me just show you how to do it. We grab our yarn back. So our stripe is gonna grow out like this from these 2 points. So on the right side of the single crochet on the right side, we are going to attach the yarn. And before that, you can either put the top on and just measure how much length you need for your stripe, or you can just make your chain and put it against your body from time to time to see how many chains you need. But then you should remember the number so you can do the identical length to the other side. I already know mine is 72, so I'm just gonna chain 72, 70, 71, 72. Okay, like this. And make sure you are not twisting your chain. And then we are going to find the fixing point on the back side. So there's a very simple trick for this. Just place your top, the middle line together, and then just fold your chain in half and find whatever point it is that's corresponding to the back side. So I'm gonna attach it on this in this stitch here. Before attaching, I just need to make sure that my chain is not twisted in any place. Let's check. Okay, nice. Okay, like this. Let's do it again. Here. I'm going to attach it here. And we just going to do a slip stitch to attach our chain. So for our shorter stripes, we are just going to make our long single crochet again because I just love this stitch. So we already know how to do this stitch. Let's start it. We turn our work. And then from the first stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, a starting, and then we're gonna pull the loop long. This length of the loop is gonna determine the thickness of our stripes. So I suggest you to do almost like this distance, our chain 3 distance. So I'm gonna do like this. And then I will fix the loop slightly with my index finger and insert to the next stitch and like this. Exactly like how we did before. And then we are going to repeat this into each of our chain stitches until the end. Okay, so here I almost finished with all of my chains. This is the last one. Okay, and at this point, I'm just gonna carefully release my hook and pick up only the last 2 loops. And then we are going to insert our hook in the next single crochet and yarn over, pull up a loop and pull through the first loop on our hook, just the first one, like this. And then we can let go everything on our hook and take back the first one and turn our work. Get ready to start the next row. Before starting, we are going to make a slip stitch, and this slip stitch is gonna be considered as one stitch, okay, like what we did before. And now we are just going to do single crochet into each of these loosen loops. Okay, so this is our last loop, and this is where we're gonna close this to this point, the next single crochet on our aging. So before we close it up, it's very important to check that we are not twisting our stripes. So let's check it together. It's like this. Going to the back. Okay, so we have to attach it here. Now we can finish it up. Let's insert the hook and put up a loop. And before the last put up the loop, we insert our hook in the next single crochet where we want to attach the other corner of the stripe, and then pull through everything. That's it. This is how we fix the stripe. And for the first side of the shoulder, we can just fasten off like this. And we will repeat the same for the other side. This is the first stripe done. And let's work here. We will repeat everything the same, and but don't fasten off once we get back to this corner and attach the stripe, because we are going to do the final border for our two arms openings and also around the chest and the back. So here, let's finish up our second stripe. Into the next single crochet, we're gonna fix this corner of the stripe like this. Okay, so now you see this, armhole. This is where we are going to build the aging, a decorative aging right now. And then of course we're gonna move on to the other side. Okay, so for the aging, this is our yarn tail, this is our working yarn. Okay, we chain one, and then we make one single crochet, chain two, and single crochet in this chain three space. And then into the next single crochet, we make a slip stitch. That's it. We're gonna repeat just like this. Single crochet, chain two, single crochet, and slip stitch. Let's get this yarn tail out of the way and continue our repeat. Single crochet, chain two, single crochet, slip stitch. And here we are in our last chain three space. I'm going to slip stitch, one single crochet, chain two, one single crochet, and the last slip stitch. And now in front of me I have our stripe. So in this image we're working on the upper side of the stripe. So for the part of the stripe, we are going to make two single crochet, the second one. Okay, and then chain 2. Without skipping any stitch, we are gonna work 2 single crochet again. So this is the first one and the second. And this is our repeat. We chain 2, skip 0, and work 2 single crochet. I always have problem picking up stitching this part. Okay, 1 and 2. And we chain 2, and 2 single crochets again. So this is what we are going to do along the stripe until we reach back to where we started the round. And here I am almost finished with this round. This is my last chain 2, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets. That's it. And to close the round, I am just going to slip stitch in the first single crochet that I made. And then we can cut the yarn and just pull tight. Okay, so now I just slip stitch to close the round, and I finish with this tiny spiky edge around my shoulder opening of this side. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side, around the armhole, and then also in the middle. Okay, just do 1 single crochet, chain 2, 1 single crochet in all these chain 3 spaces, and then slip stitch in the single crochet. And when you encounter non stripes, just do 2 single crochet, chain 2 without skipping any stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. Woohoo! Now this is the finished part. This is the finished look of our border. Now we're officially finishing the upper part. For the rest of this design, we are just going to add our acorn stitches on the bottom. So before we start, we need to find the stitch where we can start our acorn motif. So let's say we want to have one right in the middle, and then we count 8 rows to find our next acorn here, and another 8 rows to find our next one here. And from here I will count another 8 rows because I wanted to start my stitch more or less on the side body. So this is where I decided to start my stitch. And you can use the same method to find where you want to start your round. Basically, you should just avoid starting in the very middle. Besides that, every other places should be fine, but this is just how I do it. So here I am going to attach the yarn in the marked stitch. And then in this stitch, the first stitch, I'm going to make 9 double crochet. So I'm going to make the chainless double crochet for my first double crochet. I'm going to insert on the leg like this. This will be considered as my first double crochet. And then I have 8 others to go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, We have 9 double crochets. 1、2、3、4. Yeah. And then we are going to skip this skip the triple crochet rows and single crochet on the side of the single crochet. Chain 3. Skip again the triple crochet rows and single crochet. Chain 3 again, skip the triple crochet rows and single crochet on the single crochet rows. And this is our repeat. Let's do it all together again. We skip the triple crochet rows, and then in this next side of the single crochet row, we are going to put 9 double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry. And then single crochet on the side of the single crochet, skipping the triple crochet in between. Chain 3, skip the triple crochet, single crochet on the side of the single crochet. Another chain 3, skip this row, single crochet here. Okay, this we are going to do all the way around until we reach back to this point. So before the finish point of this round, I wanted to show you how I distribute the stitches also in the back side. So here I consider these long single crochet rows like how I consider our triple crochet rows. So now I have my 9 double crochet here, 1 single crochet, chain 3, and the next one I'm just going to skip my long single crochet and put my single crochet on the side of the single crochet. Okay, so just go ahead and continue the work. I will meet you back when I'm at the end of this round. And 9. Okay, then now single crochet here, chain 3, and single crochet here. Another chain 3, last single crochet here, like this. And to close up this round, I am simply going to slip stitch into the first double crochet. So let's start our second round. To begin the second round, I am, like before, going to make a double crochet turning stitch. But in this case, we're not going to turn. I'm just making this so I don't have to do 3 chains to represent 1 double crochet. So this is my first double crochet, and I will do chain 1. And basically into each of these 9 double crochets, we are going to do 1 double crochet and chain 1. You see, I already made 4. Let's continue to do so. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain, crochet, chain. Okay, this is my last double crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and then I am going to skip this single crochet and work directly on the second single crochet and the next single crochet. In this one, I am going to make 2 double crochets, chain 2, and another 2 double crochets, all in this 1 single crochet, and chain 1. This is it. This is the repeat of this round. Let's do it again together. Into each of the next 9 double crochets, we are going to put 1 double crochet and chain 1. So double crochet, chain 1, chain 1, chain 1, chain 1, chain 1. Okay, and we skip this next single crochet and do the 2 double crochet, chain 2 in the next single crochet. 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And then we do a chain 1. So that's it. Let's keep doing this repeat all the way around, and I will meet you back when I'm about to finish this round. Crochets. Okay, now I'm done with the second round. Let's slip stitch in the first double crochet to close this round up. With one chain and then close it up. Okay, so here the second round is done. Let's move on to round 3. So for round 3, we are going to slip stitch first inside this chain space, so we can start our stitch inside the chain space. And then we chain 1 to build up the height for our first stitch, which is a single crochet. Chain 3, and then put another single crochet.
So basically we are just doing this 1 double crochet and chain 3 into each of the chain spaces. We're not working on the double crochets.
So chain 3 and single crochet. Chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. Okay, now we're just working to our last chain 1 space. Okay, and here we are going to make 2 chains, and then into this chain 2 space here we are going to again put in 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, just like the previous row. To move my yarn here. I just make a chain 2. We'll make 2 double crochets, and then I'm gonna make 2 chains. So this is the repeat we will need to do for this round. Let's do it together again. Here into each of these 8 chain 1 space, we are going to put 1 double crochet and chain 3. Okay, so 1 double crochet here, chain 3, okay, and then we chain 2 and put 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet in our chain 2 space. And then before we start the next repeat, we're going to chain 2 again. So let's work like this all the way around, and I will meet you back when I'm about to finish my third round. Chain 2, yes, before we finish. And then let's just slip stitch in the first single crochet to close this round.
Okay, so for the next round, like the previous round, we are going to make a slip stitch inside the chain 3 space and then chain 1 and start with our single crochet. And basically we're doing the same thing with these chain spaces. We are going to put in each chain space 1 single crochet and chain 3. It's just you are going to notice that in each round we are going to have one chain space less. Okay, so now we're doing 1 single crochet, chain 3, and 1 single crochet in the next chain space, and again chain 3. This is what we're going to do into each of our chain 3 spaces.
And then for this part, it's the same. We chain 2 and always make 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet here. And then we make another chain 2.
And as you can see, this is the repeat we are going to work on this round. So just go ahead and work through each stitch like this, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Oh yay, you see how I changed my yarn color? Because how silly of me, I reached round 4 before realizing I used the wrong color for my project. But anyway, I am catching up right now, and I was about to finish my round 4.
Okay, chain 2 again, and then let's close the round. This is my first single crochet of the round. I'm gonna slip stitch here. And then for the next round, I bet you already guessed what we should do. We're gonna do exact the same thing, just with 1 repeat of single crochet and chain 3 less. So into each of these we're gonna put a single crochet, and then we're gonna have chain 3 in between our single crochets.
We chain 1 and then 1 single crochet in the first chain space, chain 3, next single crochet, chain 3, and the next. And we are doing this in all of our chain 3 spaces. Like this. Chain 3 and single crochet. And this should be my last one. Yes.
And then when we're reaching here, we're going to do the same thing, which is chain 2, 2 double crochets, and chain 2 in between.
And there you go, this is the repeat for this round. Let's work like this all the way through. I will meet you back at the end of this round.
Okay. Okay. And this is where I slip stitch to close the round.
So for this next round, we are going to do something a little bit different, and I will show you what I mean. But first, in this part, everything's the same. We are going to slip stitch in the first chain space, and then chain 1, do our first single crochet, and then chain 3, single crochet in the next chain space, and chain 3, basically like what we were doing before, like this, and again,
and this is our last chain space. So on this row we are repeating this 4 times, and then in this fan part we are going to do chain 2, and inside this chain space we are putting 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, another chain 1, and 2 double crochets. So this is the thing we're putting on this round. 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, all in this same chain space. And then we will chain 2 to finish this repeat.
So there you go. This is the only different things we're going to do in this round. Let's keep on working like this all the way across, and I will meet you for the next round.
Here I am almost finished with this round. Chain 2. This is my last one. Yes. Okay, so here I'm gonna chain 2 and close the round. Okay, like this. Okay, and in our next round, we are going to again slip stitch in our chain space. Start with a single crochet.
And then we're working on the same thing, single crochet, follow with 3 chains, and then single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and then again chain 3, single crochet in the next chain space.
Like this. On this row, we make 3 times. Okay, and up to the next, we make 2 chains. And then into these 2 chain space, we are going to put 2 single crochets, chain 1 and 2 single crochet. Let's see if this is correct. Yes. Then we are going to make 1 chain, and then into this next chain 1 space, we are going to do the same. Chain 1, 2 double crochets, like this. And we make 2 chain and start our repeat all over again. So here we're going to make 3 tiny arches, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet, like this. 3, and then here let's chain 2 and work in these 2 chain 1 spaces. So into those spaces, we are making 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet. Chain 1 again and repeat the same thing in the next chain 1 space. And then chain 2. Okay, so let's keep on this repeat until the end of the row. I will meet you back there. Here I am, the last stitch. I chain 2 and then close this round. Okay, so for the next round, let's slip stitch in the chain space first. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet in the last chain stitch. In this round, we're making 2. And then let's do chain 2. And for this time, in this area, we are going to put 3 sets of 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Like this. Into this first chain 1 space, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Like this. And then here, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochet. And for the last chain 1 space, we are going to do the same thing. 2 double crochets. Like this.
And then we are going to do the final chain 2 before we finish the repeat. And for the rest of the round, we are just going to do the same. So I will continue to work on my round and meet you back when I'm at the end of this round.
Okay, and chain 2. And just close our round with the first single crochet. Like this. Okay, so to start our next round, let's, like always, slip stitch in the chain space. Chain 1, make a single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. Here we're just gonna do it once in this round because we have only 2 chain spaces from the previous row. And for the other part, we chain 2. And in this chain 1 space of this fan stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochet, chain 1, 2 single crochets. And then we are going to chain 2. And again, in this chain 1 space, we're gonna do the same. Like this. And let's chain 2 again and repeat for the last chain 1 space. Okay.
So this is our repeat for this round. Let's continue to finish this round and meet each other back before we finish.
Okay, and let's slip stitch to close this round. Sorry, I closed to the wrong stitch. This is our first single crochet. Okay, and now for the next round, let's slip stitch into this chain space. Chain 1 and make a single crochet in the chain space. Then we will chain 2, and with this first one we are putting two double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, and we chain 2. To reach the middle one, we are going to do double crochet twice, chain 1, another 2 double crochets, chain 1 again, and the last 2 double crochets, like this. And then we chain 2, we reach the last chain 1 space here. We are going to just do 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, and chain 2. So this is the repeat of this round, and let's do like this all the way across until we reach the beginning of our round. Okay, and we chain 2 and then close the round with a slip stitch. Okay, now it's time to make our very last round, which is basically an aging to smooth out all these curves. So to start, we are just going to put 2 single crochets in our chain 2 space, and then into each stitch. Here the space is made with chain 2, so we are going to put 2 single crochets and then just 1 single crochet into each stitch. Again, this is a chain 2 and 2 single crochets in the double crochet, and this is chain 1, so I'm just gonna put 1 single crochet. And for these 2 double crochet on the top, we are going to put 1 single crochet in the first double crochet and chain 2 and 1 single crochet in the second double crochet. Okay, we're gonna make this very subtle tiny peak here. And then just again 1 single crochet into each stitch. So in the chain 1 space, I'm gonna put 1 single crochet, and then each stitch get 1 single crochet. Very simple. This is a chain 2 space, so I'm gonna make 2 single crochet. And then when we encounter this single crochet here, we're just gonna skip it. So here I'm not gonna do anything with this single crochet. I'm just going to put 2 single crochet in my chain 2 space. And this is the repeat.
So just go ahead and work on this very last round, and once you finish,
just a slip stitch to close it with the very first single crochet, chain 1 and fasten off, and weaving in all of the yarn ends, and your top will be done. So there you have it. I hope you've been enjoying this video, and I hope you appreciate your own handmaids and wear them a lot. I will see you around in my next videos. Ciao!